the problem isn't that you're weak. The problem is that you survived. Because the problem isn't because you're weak. Let me say it again. It's because you survived, and now you're hiding inside the version of you that made it through. So let me explain what I mean, because I've been addicted, down and out. I've been in debt more than I ever thought I could pay back. I've been broken and broke, and I've been the guy who couldn't trust himself. I'm talking about crime, drugs, no structure, no control, self-sabotage. I burnt my life to the ground. And when I came back out of that, I had to build discipline into my life like it was a weapon. Boxing every day, training like my life depended on it, building a business, early mornings, no excuses, because my life really did depend on it. So structure saved me. That's why I speak with so much passion, because that version of me is sharp, focused, hungry, all in. But let me break down the counterintuitive part, because once your life stabilizes, once all that chaos and excitement stops, once you're no longer fighting to survive to the end of the week, that same intensity that you live with starts to fade, and that's when the drifting starts to begin. Because my client Ben never had any addiction, never hit a proper rock bottom moment, because he'd built a solid career, stable income, and a respectable life by anybody's standards. And that's exactly why he started to drift, because survival wasn't forcing him to stay sharp anymore. No chaos, no crisis, no pain, just comfort. And comfort doesn't demand growth. It tolerates you declining bit by bit, steady, gradual decline. Because when I was fighting addiction, I couldn't afford to negotiate anymore. One wrong move and I was back in it, back in that trouble again. And when I was in debt, I definitely couldn't afford to be lazy. I had to make money any way possible, right or wrong. And when I step into a boxing ring or the cage, I cannot afford to drift. Pain creates clarity, but once you get that pain gone, you think you've earned yourself a bit of comfort, and that's where life starts to get very, very dangerous, especially for successful men like yourself. You don't slip when life's hard. You slip when life's fine. You don't drift when you're desperate. You drift when you've got comfortable and life's okay, not amazing, but it's not shit. And then you tell yourself that, yeah, I deserve it. I've come a long way. I'm not that guy anymore. You tell yourself that I'm doing well now. I've got nothing to worry about. That mindset is subtle, but it's dangerous, deadly even, because it replaces hunger with maintenance. Because there was a period after all the boxing fights where I'd let my standards slide. I'd be stuck into the fight camp, and then I'd slip, not into chaos, just into softness, training less intense, eating any food I wanted, and I wasn't locked in. It was because I was no longer in survival mode. I'd convinced myself that it was balance, but it wasn't balance. It was drift. And it felt worse, way worse than addiction ever did, because at least with addiction, it was obvious and you've got that escape route that makes you feel okay for the moment. But drifting's quiet. My client Ben's version of this was completely different. He never hit rock bottom. He hit stability. Head of after sales, good income, solid routine. He doesn't need to fight for his life anymore. It's not life or death. So he stopped fighting for his edge. The gym became optional. His mornings became reactive, checking emails, checking follow-ups. Growth started being whenever I can it. And now he was slowly becoming average, but we've broke him out of it. Because here's the truth that will really sting if you really listen to what I'm saying. You're not stuck because you lack discipline. You're stuck because you stopped demanding it from yourself. Because when I was in debt, I demanded it. When I was boxing, I demanded it. When I was addicted to drugs, I was demanding it. I was getting high that day. When I was in debt, I was making money, right or wrong. Because once life became respectable and I was a better human being and life was going well for me, I had to choose discipline without desperation being the only thing forcing me. That's harder because there's no immediate consequence, just long-term erosion, a little breakdown of your self-trust and your self-respect. Because I know that you don't feel broken, you feel slightly off. And that's worse because broken forces you to make a change. Rock bottom forces it. But being slightly off allows you to negotiate. Because you can still function, still earn, still show up, but you're not dangerous and locked in anymore. And you know it, else you wouldn't have clicked on this video today. So let me go back to the counterintuitive truth. Your past pain has made you sharp, but your current comfort is making you soft. Because Ben, my client who I keep talking about, his career had made him comfortable. My stability after my chaos made me comfortable. Your respectable life is making you comfortable. And comfort without structure equals decline. So let me say something raw. I've been the addict with no discipline, and I've been the fighter with extreme discipline, the business owner having to make things happen. But I've also been the stable man quietly negotiating with himself because his life's okay. That last version scared me the most because there was no villain to blame. I couldn't blame anybody else, anything else. No drugs, no debt, no chaos, just me choosing less for myself on a consistent basis. Because you think you need motivation, you don't. You need to reintroduce standards without having to hit rock bottom or go through some sort of crisis. Daily physical non-negotiable, mental non-negotiables, and income generating activities every day, not because you're desperate, but because you refuse to become average. That's alignment. Body, being, business, all integrated and aligned. Not when you're forced to or you hit rock bottom, but when you're stable. So here's the question that really matters most. Are you only disciplined when life is hard, or can you be disciplined when life is comfortable? Because that determines whether you're going to hit that plateau or you're going to break through it and keep on leveling up. And I had to learn that one the hard way. My client Ben's learning that too now. What about you? If you want the system that I give to all my private clients, click the link in the description and get a free copy of the alignment blueprint. It's the structure I use of all my private clients to realign their body, being and business properly. There's no hype, no motivation, just standards that work, because survival built you, but comfort will shrink you unless you decide to choose otherwise. So I'll see you in the next video, but don't bother clicking on the next video if you're not going to get your free copy of the alignment blueprint. I'll see you there. Let's fucking go.